Welcome back to a new video, everyone. Today is number 6 of the minifigure series, and as always, this is not investment advice, just my opinion on the market and some minifigures that I think can do well on it. But with that said, let's get into the minifigures. Minifigure 1 is the SW0633 or the Wolf Yularen that currently costs 55 euros in the polybag. One of my absolute favorite minifigures since the Clone Wars TV show. I've also only chosen to talk about the polybag version of him and not the loose version, since the sealed version is guaranteed to always get the new copy, and it's also actually cheaper on Bricklink. He has gone up quite a bit recently since he made his cameo in Andor, I think in this very outfit also. His price has also basically doubled in the last few months. They have never re-released a May the 4th promo set, if I'm not mistaken, or one of these like minifigure polybags, so therefore I think it's pretty safe that he will never be re-released in this outfit. All the OG fans know him from the scene in episode 4, with the whole "I find your lack of faith" disturbing scene with Darth Vader. They know him from the meeting as the guy in the back with white clothing, which of course is his ISB uniform, which he also rocks in Andor. His minifigure is very well detailed, and it features two unique pieces, being the torso and headpiece. I think it's a very well-made minifigure. The demand for him is rising because of the Andor show. It's the first time we see him in live action since episode 4. Even though he is a very obscure character to people who've only seen the movies, they basically don't even know him by name. To fans that have seen the TV shows and know a little bit more about the lore of Star Wars, this is a very, very appealing minifigure, very popular minifigure, especially since the Clone Wars, where it was fleshed out over 7 seasons. I could easily see this character push up to 100 euros in 1 to 2 years time, as he is a well-known character, but not a too well-known character for his price to explode out of nowhere. Minifigure 2 is SW1209 or C3PO that costs around 21 euros right now. This is the most movie accurate C3PO we've ever had, which also happens to come in an expensive and not too popular UCS set, being the Luke's Landspeeder from earlier this year. I really believe that this minifigure could surprise quite a few people, since C3POs normally don't perform too well on the aftermarket, if you don't count the bronze and golds and like special edition metal ones. He comes behind a big paywall of a set which not too many people seem to have bought, and which wasn't too well received when announced. Even though I am only speculating, I feel confident that this minifigure won't be reproduced and will always only be obtainable through this very set, and therefore people who want the movie accurate version of C3PO will have to either buy this very expensive and not too popular set, or more likely turn to Bricklink and buy it off there for right now only 21 euros. As with many of the fan favorite characters from the original trilogy, there are always collectors for these characters, and therefore the demands for C3PO with that silver leg should always be there, even though it might not be as big as with other characters. He is incredibly well detailed compared to the other iterations of him, and I would maybe not buy him right now since he is still quite a new character, but definitely keep an eye on this guy when he starts to close in on retirement, since I could see him possibly going up to 40 to 50 euros somewhere around 2 years after retirement. Minifigure 3 on the list is SW0815 or the Scarif Shore Trooper and the basic version. He currently sells for around 28 euros on Bricklink in new condition. A very interesting minifigure that featured in Rogue One at the Battle of Scarif scene. I chose to go with the regular version of this trooper and not the captain or squad leader, since this is the most accurate for army building and also the one that is the most expensive right now. He only came in one set back in 2017, being the Battle of Scarif set that cost around 60 euros, and I believe that the reason for this character being so expensive right now is because that this set, when it came out for 60 euros, wasn't too well received. People thought it was overpriced, and therefore it didn't sell very well. But in hindsight, this set right now, only the minifigures alone together actually sell for around 80 euros on Bricklink, which is massively helped since you get 2 of these shore troopers in that very set. The troopers themselves are very detailed, with a special torso and leg print, and of course a special shore trooper helmet. I would have said it was a no-brainer pickup a few months ago, since there were no indications that we would ever get a new shore trooper. We quickly saw this guy in Andor a few episodes back, so we have a small chance that they will remake a version, or possibly even this very version of that shore trooper. But I see this risk as extremely small, since the trooper only featured for about 2 minutes and the scene wasn't anything that LEGO usually goes for when making a scene, especially at a TV show that only gets limited sets as it is. Since Rogue One is quite a well-regarded movie, especially for the Disney era of Star Wars, I think that these figures in new condition will continue to be sought after and gain value, and possibly even push around 50 euros in 1.5 to 2 years time. Minifigure 4 on the list is the SW0547 or Darth Revan that currently sells for a whopping 250 euros new in his polybag. Just like with Yularen, this is the May the 4th promo minifigure, but from 2014, and just like Yularen, I chose to feature the polybag since it is a little bit cheaper, but you also have that guarantee of always getting a new one. He has always been a fan favorite, especially among those who enjoyed the expanded universe. He features a totally unique head, torso and leg piece that were made specifically for him and are some of the better printing designs that LEGO had made up to that point, if you ask me. His price is actually a funny one, because up until January of this year, he had been steadily climbing up to a little bit over 100 euros, but since then he has almost doubled in price and now sells for 210 to 220 euros. I'm not really sure why this rapid increase in price happened, but I don't think we will ever see him in a set again, because he is technically not a canon character since Disney took over, and although he technically was name dropped in episode 9 with one of Palpatine's new divisions called the Revan Legion or something, I think it was, Lego never remakes these May the 4th promo polybags because it's supposed to be a May the 4th exclusive. But another reason I think that this minifigure could be very appealing right now is because since there have been teasers for a lot of Star Wars games coming out set around the era of which Darth Revan exists in, awareness for this character could increase, and then also his price. I think that the exclusivity alone is a good reason to pick up this character now, but all the other reasons as well makes me think that he could potentially continue to grow in price for a long time. If I have to give an estimate, which I think is very hard with this kind of character, since it is such an obscure and weird one, I could see him grow to around 270 euros in less than like 1 year time. But again, this is a very hard estimate to give since the supply is not very big, and it's a very weird one since it doesn't really follow the trends of normal investment or normal minifigures on the aftermarket. The last minifigure on the list is the SW0807 or the Imperial Death Trooper. It goes for around 12 euros on the aftermarket right now, and is probably, in my opinion, the coolest Imperial era trooper. The Death Trooper became an instant hit after Rogue One, and we were lucky enough to get a battle pack with 2 of these, along with the advent calendar of 2018, I want to say. And even though he came in a battle pack, that battle pack was only on shelves for less than a year, and in the US actually only for 9.5 months. He is a very in-demand character, as over 500 of them have sold on Bricklink in just the last 6 months. He has also almost doubled in price in just over the last year, because even though a lot of the minifigure exists thanks to the battle pack, the ones in new condition are becoming fewer and fewer, and since they are still affordable and demand is quite high, I believe that this price won't stay so long for such a long time. This torso, helmet and legs have only on the Death Troopers. The figure is always in demand, as we saw with the demand on Bricklink. He's a very well made minifigure, and supply is dwindling if you want a new one. I really believe that this minifigure can go up, and I'm setting my price estimate for this minifigure on that he will basically have double in price in less than 2 years and sell for around 20 to 25 euros. He's a top tier minifigure, a very high quality one, good printing, and I think that he will probably perform very well in the coming years. That is all for today. Thank you all for watching the video. Please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you. But that's all for now. Thank you guys for watching.